Good morning, all of you. Myself, Dr. Chanchal Gupta, lecturer, Diet Rajendra Nagar, welcome you all in today's session of LNS. Before starting with my topic, I would like to thank the whole team of LNS and my principal, Dr. Muhammad Zamir, for providing me this opportunity to interact with you on today's topic. The topic for today's presentation is revisiting the role of community during COVID-19. Before starting to understand the role of community in school during COVID-19, let us first understand the meaning of word community. What do we mean by the word community? The word community is used in a different sense for different people. Usually, it is used to denote a group of people who live in a particular geographical area. But in all, we cannot consider all the social group as a community. So, what is a community? Community is a group of people who just not only live together, but they do have a feeling of mutuality and an expression of unity. The people of community have something in common. That may be the area where they live, the work that they do together, their interests, same interest, or the same circumstances. In this way, we can say a community is a group of people who live in a common territory, have a feeling of mutuality, common understanding, and they have something in common that they can work upon. Now, what is the meaning of, after understanding the meaning of community, let us have a look of the significance of community in education. Why do we need to involve community in our education system? As we all know, school is a miniature society. School is a mirror to society. School reflects what the community is. So we cannot separate community from school or school from community. According to a famous African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, which itself is representing the importance of community in education. It is being considered that problem of education is everybody's problem, and all the people of community are responsible for improving the school or improving the education system. The people of the community together have to bridge the gap between the school and the community. Various experiences of various programs and committees have revealed that local people, the community people, have an insight into what works and what does not work and why. Involving these local people and community people in planning any project that may be related to education or any other project increase their commitment towards that project and hence increase the worth of that project for them. They feel more committed, they feel more involved in that particular project if their experiences are considered in planning and executing that particular project. We have different experiences. All the communities have different needs, different beliefs, different resources, and they participate in community. When the community people participate in that particular program, that give relevance to the provision according to need. They can keep their needs, their customs, their belief, their resources in mind before planning and executing that particular program. Local people also can support in fulfilling the gaps where the government is not able to provide sufficient sources. They can raise their own resources in the form of infrastructure like building the extra classrooms, toilet facilities, providing furniture, textbook materials, etc. to the students, or they can establish their own new schools themselves or construct the road to approach these schools. In this way, the community people can themselves fulfill the gaps in case the government is not able to provide sufficient resources to the community. Community participation is also essential for democratization of education that is for providing equal opportunities to all the sections of the society, which further help in bridging the gap of socio-cultural and religious gaps. So it is also essential for providing education to all, for universalization of education. And moreover, the big projects like universalization of elementary education cannot be handled by any agency, may it be government or any other agency, single-handedly. It required the participation of all the agencies and all the community members to achieve this goal of universalization education. So we can say the involvement of community is essential component for bridging the gap, for democratization of education, for universalization of education, for fulfilling the gap and making the program useful to the needs, custom and the resources that are available in the society. Let's have a look to what the research says about the involvement of community in education. A number of researches has been conducted over the last 30 years for understanding the role of community in education. It has been found that the family and community involvement in schools have a positive impact on students' achievement. Researches related with family, parents, and community involvement in schools found a high correlation in achieving higher grades by the students. The communities where the communities are involved in school education, students tend to earn higher grades that improve the academic performances of the students. It is being found that the students attend the school more regularly, they stay in school for a longer period of time and also have higher enrollment in higher level programs, means higher level of studies. Community participation is also found to address a key to school dropout crisis. Community people themselves make various arrangements for dropout crisis. They foster higher education aspiration among students and motivate students to attend school regularly. So we can say that researchers have proven the impact of community in education. The community members arrange number of resources for the schools that have a positive impact on students' achievement too. The communities where the community members are involved in school education, there the students tends to achieve higher in academic achievements. Now, after understanding the role of researches, now let us have a look on various forms of community participation. What are the various ways, what are the various forms through which a community can participate in school education? The community people can participate in education through passive or active mode. It is considered as active participation when the people themselves are involved in providing all the information related to the community, taking decisions related with the education, be it the planning, be it the execution of other activities. And it is a passive participation when the people of the community are just being informed what is going to happen in the school or what has already been happened in the school. In passive participation, the community people do not have their role in making decisions or planning or executing any decision. They are just being informed what is going to happen or that has already been happened. And the next form of participation is legislative participation or self-mobilized participation. The participation of the community member is considered as legislated participation when the Constitution itself made provision for the participation of community. As we all know, 73rd and the 74th Constitutional Amendment with the revival of Panchayati Raj institutions has recommended for setting up of local communities for involvement in education and other services. This type of participation where the Constitution itself made provision for participation is considered as legislated participation. Whereas on the other hand, when the people themselves participate by taking their decision on their own without any constitutional provision, that form of participation is called self-mobilized participation. Here the individual work independent of any external system or exchange agents. A number of examples could be self-help initiative taken by different volunteers in school education can be considered as self-mobilized participation of community members. The next form of participation is through providing information or through material contribution. It may be possible that the people of the community do not participate directly in the planning or execution part. They just provide information. Then that information can be used in research purposes or for the planning of or execution of that particular program. The people of community can also gather resources or they can contribute in the form of cash, they can contribute in the form of labor for the development of school education in that particular community. That form of contribution, that form of participation is called material contribution. When the community member participate by providing cash, by providing labor or any other kind of supportive material, supportive resources to the school education. So these are the types of participation or the form of participation through which a community member or the whole community can participate in school education. After knowing about various forms of participation, let's have a look to government's initiatives to involve community in school education. If we talk about India, community participation is not a new concept in India. Since ancient times, the community members are being involved in educating their children in the form of pathshalas and madrasas. The skills and the knowledge of community is supposed to be passed to the next generation through these pathshalas and madrasas. And after independence, a number of attempts have been made to revive this role of community in school education. One of the major steps in this particular direction is made through Education Commission, which is also known as Kothari Commission in 1964-66, which recognized the importance of community in education and recommended that every educational institution should try to develop a rich community life for its people of its own and provide adequate and satisfying opportunities for students to participate in community and help in organizing various resources of the community. After Education Commission, Ashok Mehta Committee in 1978 also emphasized the need of involving community in local development and planning. They viewed the role of these community members to strengthen the planning process at micro level. According to Ashok Mehta Committee, the people of the community can be involved in the planning at the micro level for providing or achieving the goal of primary education for all. After that, the National Policy of Education 1986 and its view in 1992 also suggested the participation of community for achieving the goal of universal primary education. National Policy of Education 1996 visualized direct community involvement through forming Village Education Committee. It is being recommended that Village Education Committee will manage elementary education at village level and provide and make necessary requirements for achieving the goal of universal primary education. 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment revived Panchayati Raj institution. It brings Panchayati Raj institutions to the power, and it recommended that the Panchayati Raj institution will plan and implement the schemes of primary and secondary school education at micro level. These Panchayati Raj institutions were held responsible for providing and achieving the goal of universal primary education at village level. After this, the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan also realizes the importance of community, and it suggested a systematic mobilization of community members through the creation of effective system of decentralized decision making. It recommended involvement of community members at various levels. After Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, it was found that various organizations, various growth level structures came up in almost all the states and union territories, which include Village Education Committee, School Management Committee, Mother Teacher Association, Parent Teacher Association, Mothers Association, and Women Monitor Groups. These are the various grassroots level structures that were emerged after Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, and it has been found that they are playing an active role in achieving the universalization of elementary education. Further, in year 2009, right of children to free and compulsory education make it mandatory for all schools, including the private, government, and aided, all type of schools, to constitute a school management committee. It is now mandatory for all the schools to constitute a school management committee. RTE 2009 further specifies the functions of these school management committees in planning and management of elementary education. Now, in all the schools, we have a school management committee which actively participate in education of children through direct involvement in planning and execution of resources. So these are the various initiatives that are being taken by government for involving community at education of their children. And it is being found in various researches that through this initiative, the role of community members is being increased, and they are actively participated in providing and making all the facilities available for the education of children. Now let us have a look on areas where the community members can participate in school education. There are a number of areas where the community members can directly participate in school education in the form of planning and execution. The first and the foremost area is academic area, where the community members can motivate and pursue village members to enroll their children to school. By making them realize the importance of education, they can pursue village member to enroll the children in school and hence help in achieving the goal of 100% attendance. They can also regularly check the attendance of the children and their retention in school. Village community members can themselves go and visit the members of the village and help them or pursue them to send their children to school regularly for regular attendance and regular and continue their learning in schools. Also, many skilled persons from the community on the volunteer basis can help in the school in taking up various activities that may be related with various activities academically or in the form of organizing various functions at the school levels. Further, school can invite persons from the community to various functions organized at the school level. That can be a ceremony or annual function, and then provide an opportunity to bridge the gap between school and home. When the community members will be invited to the celebration at the school level, they will feel themselves more involved in school education. The next area is the financial area, where community members can generate funds for the construction of additional rooms, boundary walls, toilets in the schools. They can even generate and collect fund to help the needy or the poor students, or for sponsoring any award, prize, or scholarship for them. They can use these grants or aids or funds for organizing various meetings and functions at the school level. In this way, community members can directly participate in various financial areas of school education. Community members can also participate in schools' administrative and management area through planning at micro level. Community members can help in organizing and managing various meetings at village education committee level, PTA meetings or MTA meetings. There they can directly involve in administrative and management of these meetings. Community members can also organize an awareness camps in the community for enrollment of students in the schools, for motivating the non-responsive participant in the education, or for motivating the illiterate parents to join the centers and become literate so that they can directly help their children in their education. So these are the areas where the community members can participate in school education. Now the question arises, how to involve parents, family and communities in school education? A research-based framework is developed by Joyce Abstinent of Johns Hopkins University, and he described 6 types of involvement of community in school education. The first type of involvement is through parenting. Families and parents can be involved in education of the child through their parenting skills. They can provide a good family support and set the home conditions to support learning of their word. In this way, through the parenting skills and by providing support to the child, they can help students in their learning. The next type of involvement is through communicating. It has been considered that the schools and home should establish a two-way communication, and that communication need to be effective and reliable. School and families can communicate each others about school's programs and students' progress, and thus can help each others in students' learning by providing various forms of information related with students' progress. They can communicate with each others and then can plan the plan of action for the further learning achievement. The next type of involvement is through volunteering. The people from the community can volunteer themselves for the various work of the school. They can work with the teacher, with the educators and support students learning by directly helping the students in their learning, or they can help in organizing various functions, various meetings at the school level. In this way, the volunteers can directly help in learning of the students at school level. The next type of involvement is through learning at home. Families and parents can help the students in their learning at home in the various activities that may be related to their homework, the project work, their goal setting, their learning, and any other curriculum related activities. They can help or provide resources at home. Communities can also help in school education through decision making. The community members can participate in various decisions of the schools. through various councils, improvement teams, committees such as school management committees and any other organization. They can directly take part in various decisions related with their education of their ward. Schools can also collaborate with community and hence coordinate for its resources and services. Various resources of the communities like the community hall, parks, buildings, community centers can be used by the school for providing learning to the school, providing learning to the students. These resources can be used in collaboration with the community by the schools. Now, after understanding the importance of community in education, let us have a look on effect of corona on school education. As we all know, COVID-19 pandemic has enforced the closure of schools worldwide. All the schools worldwide are being closed due to this pandemic. This had led to the greatest disruption in education system in the history. It is being found that about 1.6 billion learners in more than 190 countries and continents are being affected by this pandemic. It is being estimated in the by various researchers that this crisis will increase the pre-existing disparities in education system. The disparities which were already there in the education system will increase, and especially for the most vulnerable students that are living in poor or the rural areas, because students, refugees, person with disabilities, and the students that have differential access to technological devices or have lack of support for learning at home. Though these students who have differential access to technological devices and have lack of support at home will definitely will lag behind to the students who have access to the technological devices and have some support in the form of parents or some guardian at the home level. As we all know, in this time of pandemic, the online teaching system is being used. It is being found through various researches that this gap, this disparity will extend beyond its generation and will even erase the decades of progress that was already being made in school education. This will erase the generations of this will go beyond the generation and will erase all the progress that is being made from decades in the field of education. Now, let us have a look on the challenges that this pandemic has posed in front of education system. The first and the foremost challenge that this pandemic has arisen in front of education system and community is ensuring the safety of its students. During pandemic, the students are not feeling safe. They are not considering themselves safe even at home, which is leading to number of distress and stress among the students, which is again hampering their academic performances. The next challenge is to maintain a continuity of learning. As we know, this pandemic has resulted in school lockdown and the education in the form of online training or the virtual training is being used for continuing learning. But there are researches which has reflected that our students have different access to these technological devices. The students who are at the disadvantaged level, who do not have the access to digital learning, are at the greatest risk of learning loss. So it is a major challenge to involve all the students in learning, to make the continuity of learning for all the students, even to the students who do not have this access to digital learning. And also, one of the major challenges that is being realized these days is ensuring well-being of students. As we know, during this pandemic, students are experiencing emotional distress that is ranging from anxiety to various stress symptoms. Many of the students, they have poor nutrition due to lack of access to the school meal. The school meal that it was providing in the form of midday meals to the students is now not available to these students, which is resulting in various forms of mental and physical challenges to the students. And we need to cater the well-being of these children, and we need to ensure the well-being of these students at any level. Now, the question arises, how to ensure community participation in education during COVID-19? How a community can participate in education during COVID-19? As we know, different students have different access to learning devices. Some have a regular access to the learning devices, and some have limited or even no access to the learning devices. So community can participate in education by providing various resources to these students who have limited or no access to the digital learning devices. The parents of these students can be involved as a volunteer for organizing and guiding various activities with the students. In case the parents of the students are illiterate, various volunteers can be identified from the communities which can help students in their learning by orienting and guiding them in various activities that can be conducted at home. These activities can be related to the foundation literacy, numeracy skills, health and well-being, art education, mental well-being of the students. These volunteers, parents and guardians can help directly to the students in their learning process. Community can participate in education in the form of peers and neighbors, as it is being found that about 25% of Indian households have internet facilities. And in rural areas, it drops only to 15%. So only 25% in urban areas and only 15% of the students in rural areas have access to internet facilities. In such a situation, peers and neighbors can play an important role by pairing the students with their neighbors who have amenities for online classes. They can be paired up and they can attend those classes together on the same electronic gadget. Also, various resources like TV and radio, various broadcasting resources can be utilized by the community for the education of their poor. A mobile bank can be created at community level where the people can donate their old but functional mobile phones. Older students can be contacted and can be asked to donate their task books to the schools, which can further be distributed to the students who are not able to purchase the test books due to the pandemic. And hence, in this way, they can continue their learning even during this pandemic. The next form could be on door-to-door education services. In case the teachers or the head of the students are living in the same areas where the students are residing and they don't have contact or they do not have any resources for online learning, in such areas, the school or teachers can create a Siksha team with the help of community members. That team may include teachers from different schools or the volunteers from the communities This team together can arrange education at community in open schooling. These at open places, these Shiksha teams can arrange safe classes in the community at open places. The member of Shiksha team first need to identify such children. Then they can visit these children and call them at the safe places for the classes, or they can even deliver and collect worksheet from their home by visiting them frequently. Proper guidance and to the parents and students can also be given by the Shiksha team on guidance related to how to conduct the activities at home. These can also be provided by the members of the Shiksha team to the students who do not have access to online facilities. A very good example can be seen where the teachers themselves have brought education to the home, to the doorstep of the students is from an example of Jharkhand, where, where the teachers of Jharkhand Dumatra village in Jurmadi Dhumka, they have created schools in the mud walls. They have painted the mud walls to the blackboard and make the education accessible to the students of government schools. Teachers have taken education to the doorstep of children by turning the mud walls of the schools into blackboards. You can even have a look at the picture where the teacher or the volunteer is teaching the students with a loudspeaker, and the students are engaged in their self-learning, and they can call teacher anytime and clarify their doubt in case they have a doubt. Or there is also a scope for peer learning by maintaining proper social distancing. This is a very good example where in practical the students are being contacted and the teachers have brought the education to the doorstep of the children. The next way through which the community members can participate is by school guided community support. In case where the teachers or no head lives in the same area where the number of the students are living, those who do not have any access to digital devices, in such a case, members of the school management committee, local officers, NCCs, and NSS members can be contacted and can be asked to help children to continue in their learning process. Even the teachers who have been retired, educated volunteer parents, student teachers, the students who are passed out from the college or not doing any further work, they can be contacted in such case and can be involved for teaching and guiding young learners at their places nearby their homes. In this way, the community members can further support the students that are living at the extreme areas and that can be supported, that can be contacted by the family members, and that can be helped in continuing their education. Further, for the migrant laborers, a helpline numbers can be issued and the posters can be publicized for them and for them by for them recommended the need of education. These posters can be publicized at the community places. Volunteers, again the volunteers from the communities can be asked to deliver and collect worksheets from the students' houses. They can help parents, they can guide parents and siblings to provide support to these children. They can identify and parents having mobile with these students. They can provide one-to-one teaching to these students or can create a mobile bank for donating and issue old smartphones so that these students who do not have access, who do not have any teacher living in their same areas can also continue their education during this pandemic. Also, Group or peer learning with the help of teachers can be arranged. As we all know, peer learning is mutually beneficial exercise for both the peers, for all the peers. Involving peers in sharing of knowledge, ideas, and experiences are beneficial for all the participants. Peer learning is increasingly important during this pandemic. Teacher can form groups of the students that are living close by, that are living in the same areas, or that may be from the same grades, or maybe that from the different grades, they may have different capabilities. They can be asked to help each other and do peer tutoring. The teachers can also form WhatsApp group of these students. Teachers also can keep in touch with the peer groups and can also encourage these groups for peer assessment through rubrics prepared by teachers. In this way, peer teacher guided peer learning support can be provided to these students in the form of various groups where teachers can themselves keep a check on the learning of these students. The TV can be arranged at local community centers. The community members can make arrangement for the television set for the community at the community centers where the students can view various educational programs. Different time schedules can be arranged for students of the same grades. So different timetable can be made by the community members. And if possible, internet connection can also be made at the community centers for online learning of resources that can be used by students that have no or limited internet resources at their home. In such an arrangement, either students can continue their education through televisions, or in case internet facilities can be made at community centers, these students can continue online learning by the resources provided to them. Further, mobile schools can be arranged by the communities. A mobile vehicle especially can be arranged with the basic facilities. That basic facilities include public speaking system, preloaded laptops, etc. With the help of a teacher, in case a teacher is not available, with the help of a volunteer, can move from one place to another and can also deliver resource material to the children, guide them in their study and how to study. In case related laptops are available, the students can watch videos, can watch recorded materials on the laptops. These mobile schools can visit a particular area according to a fixed time schedule. And hence the same mobile schools can reach to different students living in different areas. Further, local bodies, that is the Panchayati Raj institution, urban local bodies, and other education bodies can be involved in education of the works. Local bodies can identify the volunteers for working with the school system and even can create required infrastructure facilities in the community centers by, as we have already discussed, in the form of television, in the form of mobile bank, even in the form of library, or they can arrange these infrastructure facilities outside the community centers for providing children opportunities for the learning. The school management committee and Panchayati Raj committees can also provide support to students without any digital devices and also can monitor the quality of online learning. It means, in addition to providing facilities for online learning, they can also monitor the quality of online learning, for which they can even conduct a survey of different stakeholders involving students, parents, and teachers for knowing their level of satisfaction, how satisfied they feel in online teaching learning process. To this, the local bodies, school management committees, and Panchayati Raj institutions can directly involve in monitoring the quality of education. Also, special resources can be provided for children with special needs. Schools, in consultation with block development officers, committee, panchayati raj institutions, and even school management committees, can identify these children and procure resources needed for them. That can be in the form of textual materials in braille, audio books, sign language videos, etc. So various resources for these children can be procured by the community members with the help of Panchayati Raj institutions and block development officers and even special educators can be contacted, and his or her visit can be arranged to the houses of these students. In case the special educator is not available, willing volunteers can be identified from the communities who can reach to the parents of these children and can guide them for their learning process. These volunteers or special educators can guide parents as well as children in their education. They can help them in continuing their education. Further, mobile library of books can be generated. Mobile libraries can be created with the help of the communities to ensure continuous learning by the students. Mobile library can visit remote parts on the designated days, and students can borrow and return read books on these days. Even the community members can ask volunteers to donate books to these mobile libraries so that the students can have an access to extra material for their learning. They can read the text, they can have more books on their part so that they can consult these resources. Also, mobile library of preloaded e-content can be created at the community level. Volunteers from local communities along with various local agencies can arrange library vehicle that have preloaded e-content on tablets, laptops, where the children can have access to these e-content. They have online learning. These mobile vehicle can stay at one place for 1 or 2 hours, and during this schedule, the students can visit that particular place and then can have an access to e-content that is being preloaded on these tablets or laptops. Community members, with the help of various organizations, can contribute, can generate funds, and can make arrangement for these type of preloaded e-content. Also, community members can establish monitoring group for motivating students to learn and promote cognitive growth. The various community members in the form of volunteers that can be senior citizen, housewives, senior citizens, senior students, entrepreneur, retired teachers, or other service personnel can form a group of 8 to 10 students and can allocate each member to support and the overall well-being and health of these learners. These volunteers can even teach these students, they can help, they can provide resources, they can collect, they can distribute the worksheet that are being generated by the schools. So in this way, they can monitor the education of these students. A group of 8 to 10 students can be assigned to each volunteers, and that particular volunteer can be held accountable to the learning of these students. That's all. That is all from my side. Thank you all. Thank you for